Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the absurdity of any diet out there that's not medically prescribed for a specific reason, in which you restrict or seriously restrict or eat zero fruits or vegetables, and why this is just totally absurd. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. And this really is a health and fitness issue, not even just a body composition issue. On a side note, I made a status, I think, yesterday about this. Yeah, I definitely am getting a little leaner. I definitely noticed it in person. Brittany noticed it. I'm not actually intentionally cutting. I'm not trying to cut at the moment. I was going to recomp and just maintain. I don't know what's going on with my appetite, if it's some stomach bug. It's been going on for a week now to where I am struggling, really struggling to even hit 2,500 calories. Now, I've been maintaining my body weight down around the low 220s on 4,000 calories for a while. I've just gotten to a point to where I'm struggling to get food down. And actually, I normally follow a fairly low-fat diet just to make sure I don't fall under about 2,500 calories. I've been eating natural peanut butter. I've had to add that into my diet because I'm actually struggling to get 200 grams of protein and 2,500 calories. And for me, that's insane. And a lot of undereaters are like, I don't know, that's hard for me too. It really is. No, it's hard. I'm not going to complain though. It's just I'm not finding any food appetizing. If I eat a meal, I feel a little sick to my stomach. I feel nauseated. Sometimes can't finish a meal. I'll sit down to eat a meal and have, a steak, potato, broccoli, and I can't eat it all. I have to push it to the side and go back and finish it later, like sometimes 3 hours later. Really, really bizarre for me. So the ironic part, of course, is that I'm not losing strength. I've hit PRs. I PR'd again in the gym today. I PR'd on Sunday on my squat and deadlift day. I PR'd today on my floor press day. I put another 5 pounds on my 3-rep max. So as long as my strength is going up, I'm not going to complain. But if this continues and I struggle to get my calories above that, I'm going to get leaner. The scale weight's going to start going down. It's just impossible not to. And I really don't have an explanation other than maybe something's happening with my age. I've got a stomach bug. My appetite just could finally be dropping off, which happens as we age, and with the amount of activity I have, to see what happens with that. But yeah, I'm having to actually go in and add things like peanut butter to my diet just to not only eat 1,800 or 2,000 right now. It's totally weird. Particularly protein. Protein is something I'm really struggling to get enough down. I'm having to focus on that because I'm scared of losing muscle mass. But it is what it is. Total side caveat though. Back to this point about fruits and vegetables. The thing we get into here, a lot of people are doing this. Some people do it for ketogenic diets. Other people just because they're scared they'll get too many calories. So they want to closely track or limit these things. And then this newest insane fad, this whole carnivore diet thing. I'm sorry guys, there are a lot of essential nutrients that are going to be found in fruits and vegetables. It has to do with everything from antioxidants to phytonutrients. If you're concerned about your health, the last food you should be cutting out of your diet is either fruits or vegetables. And yes, I know fruits have sugar. Yes, they have more caloric density than vegetables do, and people will make that argument. But at the end of the day, when you look closely at the nutrient profiles of these foods, if your goal was fat loss, because that's why people are doing a lot of this, these aren't things you need to cut out. These foods all have a very, very good satiety index. All fruits, even fruits, have good satiety indexes, meaning how full they make you feel versus the amount of calories in them is actually really, really high. Right? These are not foods you would want to cut out. There are hundreds of other common foods that you're going to be more prone to overeat. And I mean, that's kind of the point. Even if your concern is excessive calories, which it is people's concerns, nobody's getting fat from eating bananas and watermelon. Okay, it's the cheesecake and the bacon and double bacon cheeseburgers and the soda you're eating with the bananas and watermelon that's the problem. It's very, very difficult to consistently overeat fruit. It's very hard. It can be done. The perspective, a big watermelon, like you're thinking of when I'm talking about like a 10 or 12 pound melon, only has about 1,500 calories in it. Right? If you were to eat that as your staple carbohydrate source, that's an enormous amount of food. You know, you eat that with 500 calories worth of chicken breast or plain like fat-free Greek yogurt, you're going to hit your protein needs, carb needs, and all this other stuff. And again, it's a massive food volume. That's still only like 2,000 calories if you were to consume that together. You're not going to get fat from eating this stuff. I'm not saying the calories don't matter, but out of all the foods in the world that people are worried about as far as excess calories, these are the last ones you need to be worried about. Obviously, vegetables at the far extreme, but then fruits are still pretty high up there. And they offer a lot of health benefits. All the amount of potassium, the antioxidants, phytonutrients, all these things. These are not foods that people who care about their health need to be cutting out. Furthermore, when you start looking at things like vitamins and minerals, there's been a lot of experts who've noted over the years, and this isn't an exact science. So yes, I understand this is a little bit bro, this element of it, and I will freely admit that. But it's been noted that foods with a higher nutritional value in terms of micronutrients tend to fill you up slightly better. In other words, they tend to be more satiating. They tend to be more satiating. And again, you don't believe me, go compare stuff. Go try to eat something like 1,000 calories of white bread in one sitting, 1,000 calories of cheese in one sitting. Any food like that, right? Those are two different extremes in terms of macros. But these are lower satiety foods. You sit down and compare that to eating 1,000 calories of bananas or 1,000 calories of cantaloupe. Actually, 3 full cantaloupes don't even have 1,000 calories. You compare those, it starts to become very obvious that even fruits compared to a lot of other foods that you're going to eat are much higher in vitamins and minerals. They're much more filling. They have more food volume. They fill you up more than a lot of other foods on a calorie for calorie basis. This is not the cause of obesity. And if your goal is to lose fat, you've got to reduce caloric intake. You have to reduce caloric intake and increase physical activity. That's your winning combination. These are foods that are all going to help you reduce caloric intake. And because you're going to be on more restricted calories, if you're trying to lose body fat, you're also more likely to develop micronutrient deficiencies over time. Well, these are foods that are all loaded full of micronutrients. These micronutrients are going to help you with recovery from training, overall health, energy. So developing dietary deficiencies is counterproductive towards fat loss in that it can cause you to be more lethargic. You might not recover as well from training. You might not have as much energy in training. And these are the foods that are going to benefit you in continuing to keep your energy output up, which is the other end of the equation for fat loss. It's calories in, calories out. That's why a lot of people will say, well, you know, calories in, it's not all just calories in. You're right. Calories out matter. Well, calories out has to do with thermic effect. It has to do with energy to train, all of these different things. There's a lot of different factors involved with calories out. These foods are all high energy foods. They're all foods that are least likely to cause micronutrient deficiencies. They're actually foods that have a good thermic effect because all of them contain fiber. They're all low fat. So if you're looking at things like thermic effect of food or energy needed to utilize to fully digest and break them down, these foods are on the better end of the spectrum. They may be not quite as good as ultra high protein foods in regards to thermic effect, but they're the next best thing. And none of you are sitting around eating at a diet completely of chicken breast and protein shakes. I certainly hope you're not trying to get purely a thermic effect, because that's got its own set of problems. And I'm saying this as someone, I'm not pro-vegan. I'm not one of these dietary extremist kooks that think you need any sort of extreme diet, which is kind of the point. That's very much the point. It's absolutely insane to cut these foods out for fat loss or general health. It's just insane. It doesn't make any sense. And if you're considering following a diet, if you're even considering following a diet that severely restricts or cuts out fruits and vegetables in general, it's time to really step back and reassess what your ideas of fitness and health are, because you have missed the mark. You've missed the mark somewhere. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.